What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Vaporesso-Aurora kit. So this is definitely one of the most unique looking devices that has come out from a company that I've seen in a very long time. So with that, I really didn't know what to think of it at first. A friend of mine got one and he showed me, and I was just kind of baffled by the whole idea of the thing. But when I got mine in from Vaporesso, I was rather impressed. I gotta say, I am very impressed by the performance of this device, but also the style is definitely growing on me as well. So before we get started with this video, I do have to state my intent by saying that I did receive this product for free from the manufacturer for the purpose of doing this video. However, it has no monetary value to me, which means my opinions on it will remain honest and unbiased, of course, as always. With that being said, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to the people over at Vaporesso for sending this along my way. I really do appreciate the opportunity to take a look at this very unique looking mod. So from taking a look at their website, this thing is available in 3 different color options. You have your metallic gray, which I have here. You have a black version and supposedly a golden version. I'll put up a picture right here for you guys to check it out for yourselves, but I haven't been able to find the golden version available online. If I do find it, I'll drop a link down there in the description below. Otherwise, I will have links for the other 2 color options down there. This thing is available for $27.99, which I think is a really good deal. So I feel like this device would be perfect for someone that might be on the fence about vaping in the first place, considering it's fairly inexpensive and the maintenance cost is low as well. For a pack of 5 coils, it's $7.99, which is very comparable to something like the eLeaf iCare or something similar to that. So especially with a device like this, it's really simple, really small, really compact, and easy to use, so definitely great for the beginner vapors. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have our Aurora in its original box. So let's quickly take a look around the packaging, then we'll talk about what's inside. So, first and foremost, you can probably see it already, that little bit of spot gloss on the front here, which is kind of a nice touch. Definitely classy looking packaging, very cool looking, modern, sleek looking design, all that good stuff without being overly obtrusive, I would say. So you have the Vaporesso logo, Aurora starter kit, and right at the bottom here you have their logo, Vaporesso logo, of course. On this side you have a little bit about the coil, ceramic coils, and the curved custom mouthpiece thing there. And on this side, you have their little Facebook thing, so make sure you check them out on Facebook as well. And on the back, you know, the usual stuff. You guys should probably know this stuff already. A little bit wordy. It's got a little blurb about the product and what's inside the box, and some warnings at the bottom. So there we go. Let's go ahead and slide the cover off real quick if we can. Let's see if we can get in there. There we go. There we go. And let's take a look at the user manual. Oh, it's one of these foldy ones. Ooh, oh, oh no, 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 no. They lost me at this right here. Now that, my friends, is a bit obnoxious, okay? Either print it in booklet form or something, but geez, that is just crazy. I'm just going to throw that to one side. Not a big fan of that, but I think they made up for it a little bit with this guy right here. This is, I believe, all the warranty information, so it's just kind of tucked away in this little baby envelope thing here. Yeah, you have your warranty card. You have a little bit about the coil, and some warnings as well. You know, the usual stuff you find in the box, but most of the time they throw it all these little tiny pieces of paper together, so having it in that little envelope is definitely a nice touch. So right here we have the Aurora itself. Finally, we get to the actual product that we're talking about today, which is the Aurora, and we'll take a look at that in detail in just a second here. So here are the coils that you get in the box. You will actually get 2 of these things. Obviously, I have used one, so that's why I only have one at the time, but you will also get this classy, really nice looking USB cable. Very, very cool. Definitely a little bit more modern than a lot of the other ones that you find in most other products nowadays. So there you go. All right, guys, so here is the Aurora itself. As you can see, very cool looking skull design on the front here with the Vaporesso logo. And towards the bottom here, you'll notice that little tiny LED. That is your charging indicator light. Flipping it over real quick, you can see the back panel, which has a similar kind of skull design, but much smaller, of course. And right there, another little LED indicator. So no matter which way this thing is facing, you can see whether or not it's charging, which is definitely a nice touch there. On the back panel, you have your hinge and your USB port, micro USB. That is how you charge it. And on the front, you have the little peekaboo window so you can see your juice level, which is kind of nice. And the part you've been all waiting for, there we go, the actual mechanism itself. Very, very cool. Just kind of like a Zippo, you know, for anyone out there that has owned a Zippo in the past, this is going to be very nostalgic for you guys, but very cool looking, very stylish, and you could just turn this little mouthpiece around just like that, and that's how you vape on it. So it's an automatic draw. It starts up as soon as you start drawing on it. It has a built-in integrated 650 milliamp hour battery, micro USB at 1 amp, like I said, 1.2 mil tank reservoir with a bottom fill mini C-cell coil, great for mouth to lung. And it has a direct voltage output, which translates roughly to 12 watts maximum. So if that makes any sense to you guys, it's kind of along the same lines as, you know, a lot of these other all-in-one systems that are coming out nowadays. But 12 watts maximum when it's fully charged, and you'll start to notice a power difference as soon as the battery starts dying, but haven't really had too much of an issue with that personally. Flip-top design, highly ergonomic, pocket-friendly, strong latch and hinge mechanism, rotating curved mouthpiece, and a 10-second cutoff. So that is the basic specs for the Aurora here. Now, real quick, I wanted to actually show you the actual pod part of this system right here. So here is the actual cartridge that goes in the Aurora. As you can see, this little curved mouthpiece, it is removable. However, I don't really see any other tips fitting on this particular device, but not that that would really matter anyways, because I feel like nothing would actually fit underneath the hood. But with that, here you can see the nice clear chamber, and this actual bottom piece here is the whole coil itself. So I just wanted to take that out real quick, and we'll fill this thing up. So that screws out like that. I've got some super limited edition Lucky Bird Nick Salt here. Really, I don't think anyone else has this besides the owners of Bluebird, but I wanted to try it out. So just fill it up like down the side like you normally do, just like any other kind of system, just like that, right up to the top, and then pop your coil in. I would let it soak and prime for about 5-10 minutes before you start puffing on this thing. You can also do some inhales on it without having the cartridge inserted into the device to speed the process along, but that's pretty easy to fill up if you ask me. Definitely user-friendly for beginner vapors and experienced vapors alike, so there we go. Putting it back in just like that, it is magnetic, so it sticks to the bottom, and it's pretty sturdy in there. Definitely doesn't want to come out anytime soon. You have to put a little bit of force behind it, quite a bit of force actually, to get that thing out of there, which is kind of a nice touch. And it rotates around just like that, so you can close up the lid, and there we go. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is that this thing is tiny. This is absolutely tiny. Folds up really nice and small. When you're ready to vape, boom, just like that. When you're ready to put it away, boom, it's away. And nice and strong too. Very nice solid metal construction. Really no fear that this thing is going to break anytime soon. So really like the construction of this thing, really like the size, and for the on-the-go vapor that wants to take this thing everywhere, this thing is perfect. My second pro today is that this thing is a little bit more powerful than any of the other pod systems that I've been using lately. So as you guys know, I've been trying out all the different pod systems, and I kind of put this one almost in the same category because I use this thing mouth to lung. It has a 1+ ohm coil, so I'm using some nicotine salts in there right now, and it works in a very similar fashion. However, this thing has a larger battery, larger juice capacity than most of them, and overall I get a little bit better experience out of it. So when it comes to comparing this thing to the pods, this thing blows it out of the water completely. When it comes to comparing it to something like the Joyetech AIO or Smoke Stick V8 or something like that, doesn't really stack up to those, but otherwise this thing is really, really good for its size, its shape, its form factor, and all that good stuff. Definitely enjoy the extra little hit to it when comparing it to my other pod systems. My third pro today is all about the battery life. This thing never dies. I have never killed the battery on this. I've always gotten too worried that it's going to die, and I plug it in, and yeah, it's gotten pretty darn close, but I've never actually killed the battery. So very impressed with the battery life on this thing. I have used it extensively over the course of 2 days and still have not killed the battery. So very, very good. For you average vapor out there, for someone that's going to be using this thing all day, every day, I feel like you'll definitely get at least a full day out of it, if not longer. My fourth pro today is that it's stylish and discreet. Now, that's pretty much the biggest thing about this device, is that it is extremely, extremely discreet. If you don't want your friends knowing that you vape and you want to look normal like, you know, everyone else, then carry around this thing, because this is the perfect pocket accessory that is not obvious that it is a vaporizer. So with that, yeah, this thing is super stylish. It looks very, very, very similar to the real thing, the real Zippo. I actually used to own a Zippo when I smoked, and yeah, it's very, very similar in size and shape. It's a little bit larger, but overall, same kind of feel in the hand. And I gotta say, I mean, for someone that might not want it to be super obvious that they're vaping, this is gonna be perfect for them. My fifth and final pro is that this thing actually doubles as a fidget device. Now, I know that may sound a little bit silly to a lot of you guys out there. I feel like people are kind of divided as far as whether or not spinners and cubes and stuff like that are a good thing or a bad thing, but if you are one of those people that find the fidget spinners and cubes relaxing and comforting, then this thing is going to be absolutely perfect for you. Now, it is a little bit more noisy and annoying, but I could definitely see myself clicking this thing all day long and annoying the crap out of everyone around me. Alright guys, so moving on to some cons. My first con actually has to do with what I was just talking about in the pros section, which is it is a bit noisy and obtrusive. So if you're trying to get away with a very sneaky, stealthy vape at some point, this is not the device, because that noise is very, very annoying to a lot of people. So especially when it comes to flicking this thing open, if you're like me and you like doing the little Zippo tricks and that kind of thing, this thing is going to fly open and make that really obnoxious clang. Not only that, but I feel like it could damage it. So I kind of wish they would have put some sort of a spring mechanism or buffer or something like that to prevent it from smashing into that backside there. But hey, I don't know, maybe that's just me. My second con today is that this thing isn't the most comfortable device to vape on. Now, they tried their best with this mouthpiece here, and I think they did a pretty damn good job for what they were working with, but this complaint really isn't so much with the mouthpiece as it is the actual cap piece here getting in the way. So I tend to hold this device like this. So I have the cap between my two fingers here, and I have my thumb resting right here on the outer edge, but there's really just no good way to vape on this thing. It looks kind of goofy when you're doing it, and I don't know, maybe that's just me, but vaping on this thing just like that is not really my forte, and then you get that loud clanging like I was talking about right in your ear as you're vaping on it. So not really the most comfortable thing. It's kind of annoying to vape on, but I don't know, I can definitely forgive it for being so cool looking, I guess. My third con today is that the unvaporized juice inside the coil, when it is recycled back out into the tank, it tends to be a lot darker and thicker and just kind of gunks up after a while. Now, these are ceramic coils that we're dealing with here, so it's really not that much of a surprise to me. I've been dealing with this for every single ceramic coil that I've ever tried before, and I am not a huge fan of that whatsoever. Now, I noticed this as well on the older Fix pods. The Fix used to have ceramic coils in them. They have since updated, but by the time I got to the bottom of a pod, the juice inside used to be almost black, and that used to bother the crap out of me. So really not very surprised when it comes to this one one here, seeing it has how it has a ceramic coil. I kind of would like to have seen them change that into maybe something like a stainless steel or a nichrome or a Kanthal coil, just because I feel like ceramic just isn't quite all there yet. My fourth con today is that there's no LED behind the little tank of juice, so I do like the fact that they included that peekaboo window so that you could see the juice level sort of without taking the cartridge out every single time, but if you're not in direct lighting, then it does become a little bit harder to see that level. So I think they could have fixed that pretty easily with a little LED that maybe showed up as you were puffing on it, or maybe just for a second after you took your puff or something like that. That would also be a great battery indicator, which this thing also lacks. The only other things that I wanted to mention here that don't really count as cons are the fact that the hinge build quality itself is very poor. However, the overall build quality is excellent. So the only weak point, in my opinion, is that hinge. It has a lot of play, it has a lot of wiggle, it makes a lot of noise whenever you kind of tweak it a little bit there, and I just think that is the weak point, and that's going to fail sometime in the future. In my opinion, I feel like the skull is actually facing the wrong direction. What do you guys think? I want to know your opinions. I hope I'm not alone on this fact, but I really feel like the skull should be the other direction so that when you open it like that, it just kind of goes with the overall look of it. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. That is just something that's very subjective and very personal, and I don't know, for some reason it got to me when I first took a look at this device. So at the end of the day, is this thing worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one for review? My answer would be probably yeah, actually. It kind of grew on me. I grew attached to this thing after a while. When I first took a look at it, I thought, hell no, get that thing away from me, that is ridiculous. But when I held it in my hand for the first time, it was that familiar feeling, you know, that Zippo feeling that you might have been used to from your past smoking life, really just brought me right back to that. And yeah, I've been playing with this thing ever since, annoying the crap out of everybody around me. But to be honest, it is a great stellar vape as well. So yeah, I really would recommend this one. Definitely for newbies or stealth vapors, people that really can't get away with full-blown vaping anywhere. Definitely pick one of these things up, especially for the price point of 28 bucks. Definitely a good deal there. So check out the links in the description below if you want to grab one of these for yourself. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget, you can also click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this device. Really an interesting one. I'd love to know what you guys think of it. Also, check me out on my different social media pages and check out the advocacy links I have in the description. You can also get yourself a Daily Vape TV t-shirt if you would like one down there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!